Hello, Dr. Gilliland. My name is Rashida Cotton, and thank you for viewing my interpersonal communication project. For my presentation, I will focus on my results from the portion of the Uniquely You personality profile, which deals with what a person thinks is expected of him or her while in public. I chose this perspective because while preparing for this project, I realized just how much this viewpoint had caused so many setbacks in my life, such as slowing down my Christian development. This is because was more focused on making choices that I felt would make others proud of me instead of making choices that would make God proud of me. How did my thinking get so skewed to the point that I began valuing people's expectations of me more than God's expectations of me? I think the answer lies in the influence that my identity role played on my personality type, which brings me to slide 2 of my presentation. The influence of my identity role within my family on my S-type personality. Stewart defines identities as being constellations of labels that establish social expectations that we have of ourselves and others. These social expectations can include roles that we want or have to play in specific situations. Growing up as a child, I felt my identity role within my family was to be the perfect child. I thought that being the perfect child or trying to be the perfect child would compensate for the heartache my parents endured and still endure from trying to help my brother who suffers with mental illness. According to my Uniquely You Graph 1 result, I have an S-type personality. And as a S-type personality, people tend to think that others expect them to be the nicest and kindest individuals possible. People with S-type personalities also feel that others want them to be sensitive, loving, and sacrificing. The end result of my Uniquely You S-type personality and my identity role of wanting to be the perfect child is I eventually developed into becoming more passive and submissive, which isn't the greatest thing. And it brings me to slide 3, my overarching goal. My overarching goal is to become comfortable with being assertive and to develop the skill set of a warm and confident leader in the human services field. The importance of my overarching goal to enlarging my conversation is that displaying warmth is an inviting nonverbal cue that will allow others to feel that will allow others that are under my leadership to feel comfortable in approaching me. Displaying confidence is a nonverbal cue that can initiate others building trust in my abilities as a leader. Stewart points out that people engaged in conversation construct all verbal and nonverbal aspects of talk together. So it's important as a leader to display both positive and inviting nonverbal cues as well as talking cues. Which brings me to slide 4 of my presentation. The effects of background and behavioral blend on my communication style. My Graph 1 results, this is expected of me, ranked as an S-type. According to the Uniquely You personality profile, S-type characteristics are being a great listener, sometimes being very timid and soft-spoken when put on the spot, having a vision and passion to help others, sacrificing time and energy to help others. A lot of times, and I've made it my goal to stop doing this, sometimes I sacrifice my time with my family to help others. Most people don't consider S types to be great leaders, but we can be. And also, S types tend to allow people to take advantage of us. The negative effect, possible negative effect, one of the possible negative effects of an S type personality is becoming a burned out pushover. Slide 5. Communication barriers in my interpersonal context. Withholding my true opinion out of fear the individual will get offended or become upset with me is one of the greatest communication barriers in my interpersonal context. Another problem that I have, occasional problem that I have that I'm working on that was worse in the past, is the having the occasional flat brain syndrome that Peterson describes in his text. And of course, during the flat brain syndrome, tempers rise, and for me, what comes up comes out. Resources and strategies. Slide 6. The most helpful resources that I've found is first the Bible. For example, the book of Proverbs, the book of Ephesians 4, and Psalms 139, verses 23 through 24, which basically says, to search me, O God, and know my heart. Lead me and guide me. Point out anything that's offensive in me to you, and lead me to the path of everlasting life. The second tool that I found to be helpful is practicing mindfulness. In Peterson's text, mindfulness is described as attending to the present, being mindful of important present tense experiences. My best practice with mindfulness is watching my 3-year-old son, Chandler, grow and develop. I'm just enjoying each moment. I'm not anticipating or jumping from milestone to milestone. I've learned to just appreciate each and every moment that God blesses us to be together. Being mindful helps me to decompress and relax, which helps me to handle both positive and negative interactions with people with grace. Slide 7, Action Plan. From goal to reality. First and foremost, I will continue to pray to God and ask Him to bless me and transform me into the leader that He desires for me to become. Secondly, I will always pray and ask God to bless me with the strength, courage, and wisdom to serve as a leader so that I can carry out His will for my life. And lastly, I will also use secular sources wisely. That's because, as I learned in one of my counseling classes, God's truth can also be revealed and found in secular works. Slide 8, my conclusion. These days, people put a lot of effort into changing their outward appearance in order to gain more confidence in themselves and to increase their comfort level when interacting with others. But what's on the inside has the greatest impact on enlarging our conversation, which brings me to my favorite quote: be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you, and God bless.